action.
Well, speaking of, I guess we'll get to it. Speaking of catching up on you, I've been a devoted LeVar Ball advocate since him and Lonzo stepped foot in the NBA and took the scene by storm. I have defended this man countless debates over the past years. So I am so happy and enlightened, if that's even a word, to say that LeVar has historically have two sons taken in the first 5 picks, with Lonzo as number 2 and LaMelo as number 3. Applause for that great man.
That is a great accomplishment, but you've stuck up for him about what? Being a father, or like about what?
Being a father, being a loudmouth dad, being a loudmouth businessman, just being a loudmouth black man. But people have talked about him as a father, saying that his style would hurt his kids, will prevent his kids from being something in the NBA. And look at here, he has 2 top 5 picks. Look at that shit.
But there's also been some downside of that too, right? I mean, the family name got dragged through the mud. There was some embezzlement issues with the Big Baller brand and things like that. There was a reported, I don't want to call it a beef, but a disagreement between the eldest son and dad for a while over the middleman who was managing the money. So, I mean, you could say he was being a great dad, but I think what you see is genetics are real. And LeVar was an athlete. He's a huge man. He also had funding to put his kids in various sports programming with the genetics that they had. I mean, things worked out in their fashion with some hard work.
Man, look at the cap, the hate.
I'm not going to give all that credit to Pops. That's what I'm saying.
You just blame genetics. You just gave it to genetics.
What I'm saying, what I'm saying is this. He got the attention he deserved for attention whoring.
Look that. Now I just got to have my skills developed.
Right.
So dad did play a part in helping them to get those skills developed, but it was the genetics that put them in position to capitalize off of this.
Because the brother didn't make it. The brother didn't make it. There's not a brother in the NBA.
Hold on.
Brother didn't make it.
A lot of parents who have kids that make it in the league all have the same input. He just so happened to be the first to have 2. So kudos, if that's what you're saying.
Chris,
but I'm not giving him any special
pedigree before.
We got to throw a parade for him. And let me drop this real quick.
You should throw a parade for him. 2 sons went top 5. You should throw a parade. That's great.
Fuck out of here.
But you guys are haters, so you can't realize, because it's easy to hate a loud black man, just like people hate Floyd Mayweather. The same reason why they hate LeBron.
I don't hate Floyd Mayweather. I like Floyd Mayweather.
There is something to be said that there are 2 players from the same team, from the same parents, going as top draft picks. There is something to be said to that. That's no
absolutely. That is impressive.
I don't think anyone's disputing it, but you can't also deny that it doesn't have to do with genetics, right?
Absolutely.
That's like
I got one last point, and then we can keep it moving because we beat this shit up.
We ain't gonna spend no night on the ball.
You know who deserves? I'm gonna tell you who deserves an apology. His son, who just got drafted, number 3 overall, he deserves an apology because a bunch of people said that he wasn't going to be shit when he was, chucking from half court in high school. That man's owed an apology. You know who owes him an apology? His own LeVar Ball owes his son an apology because he made it hard for him. He fucked up his college eligibility. He had to go fucking to the Ukraine and all these crazy places to play ball and be recognized. So he had a very difficult road. That young man. So if anybody deserves an apology, it's LaMelo Ball. That kid right there, he did some real shit. He went overseas, played. Hold on, let me finish. Played in one league. The league was defunct. Them dudes didn't want to play with him on the team because they didn't like his dad and they felt he was too brash as an American. Then he had to go find another league, that motherfucker's a baller. And I root for him because what that young man had to go through is no fucking joke. His dad almost ruined his fucking opportunity through sheer fucking will. That kid brought his ass back in the fucking
and this is
league.
why this is hate, because he's the reason LaMelo scored 92 points in a game. LeVar was a big part of all this coaching. So LeVar, not only when people were saying he wasn't going to be shit, Lamar was the one who was saying that he was going to be the best brother out of all of them. He also made sure his coaching staff made sure LaMelo got all the opportunities, got all the playing time, got all the showmanship out there. So he's the reason why the NBA focused on him. But we have a motherfucking podcast to get to, so we can't spend the whole night with all this LeVar hate. Because he's not paying me to be his lawyer tonight.
Kudos, young man.
It's not your typical Friday night cast. It's a Saturday.
He's an overcomer.
Pause. Whoa. But it's a Saturday, and it's time to get to this motherfucking podcast. Y'all was good.
What's happening?
What's going on, y'all? Y'all spicy tonight. Y'all spicy.
Man, you know what? I was spicy with more. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody good?
God damn, Chris.
It's been a busy week, man. It's been a busy week.
What's going on? Shit, you seem frustrated or something.
Right.
You know what it is? It's I'm in lawyer mode. I've been defending Witt so much. So anytime I have to defend somebody like LeVar, it's just like I'm already in lawyer mode, man.
Listen. LeVar Ball is his secret superhero. Whenever you criticize LeVar Ball, he come with that big ass top hat.
Mount Rushmore. He one of the GOATs.
Wait, we gotta move on, but let me ask you all a quick question. Does his son, the second son, the one that's in the G League, I'm sorry, the third son that's in the G League, so that's the middle son, right? Is he good enough where he may end up in the NBA?
No.
I don't think he has the genetics.
No.
He definitely caught the short end of the stick.
Well,
yeah.
So
he got daddy's ups.
No, listen, to be honest with you, every family or every litter has a runt.
Right.
I'm a runt.
Well, look, we don't want to be rude out there. Let's say what's up to everybody listening and watching. Hope y'all having a good weekend, a great Saturday. We appreciate y'all. And of course,
we want to say, from the Arrogant Underdogs, we want to say Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
I hope y'all motherfucking turkeys burn. No, I'm just fucking with y'all. Happy Thanksgiving. And since I'm such a gentleman, I always have to introduce the ladies first. You got the motherfucking MVP Dion, of course. You got Eric, a.k.a. Chief Rocker, a.k.a. Booty with the smoke coming out his nose. And you got Hollywood Vic in the building. What's going on, y'all? My partners. And myself, Chris G. And we are the Arrogant motherfucking Underdogs.
Y'all spicy tonight. I like it, though.
I cuss too much sometimes.
It's motherfucking Friday. It's been a long week.
It's Saturday.
It's Saturday, Vic.
It's Saturday. Look at me.
It has been a busy week.
That honey whiskey.
I've been crazy.
On that note, salute.
Right.
As usual.
So basically, none of us are giving LeVar an apology, but Chris. But we did have a big apology. But before we get into it, I want to ask y'all about the battle. Did y'all see the versus battle before we?
Hell yeah, we see.
Yeah. The last time I looked at it, it was at like 1.7 or 1.8 million viewers. That's big. Dog.
I think it topped out at 1.8.
Yeah, this thing is just growing. This versus stuff is just growing.
That shit was crazy.
Did y'all like
it? For what it's worth, I'm not a fan of young Jeezy, Gucci Man, but I did, tune in for a few snippets here and there. Saw some interesting things being said.
Like what?
The guy Jeezy, I saw him speak about the man's dead friend. I thought that was that was a little bit over the top. You mean
Gucci?
It was not over the top. It was not over the top.
Why wasn't it over the top, Chris?
I hated the shit. Like it was entertaining or whatever, but I hated the shit. And I'm not a fan of either one. I probably, out of those 20 songs Gucci played last night, I've maybe heard 3. And I'm no bullshit, 3 at the most. I'm not a Gucci fan at all. I've heard way more Jeezy songs, but I don't respect the whole situation.
I do want to say this because I know Vic watched it all also, but I do want to say this from what I saw from the playlist and things. Why does it seem like Gucci Mane didn't play a lot of the songs that were considered hits, but he chose to play more songs that were considered to be disrespectful versus hits? Because I thought there were some songs that I might have heard on the radio that he didn't play according to the playlist.
Well, I don't think he was there to battle.
Yeah,
I think he was there to get shit off his chest, like to disrespect this dude. That's what he was there for, to disrespect this man on camera.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't really trying to win the verses. He wanted to talk some
but
shit.
was Jeezy trying to
He wanted smoke.
Jeezy left a lot of songs on the table. Like he could have washed him. Like he could have like basically
He did wash him.
I mean, he did.
Let's be clear.
You're right. I agree with that.
It was a musical washing.
I agree.
In my opinion.
But my thought is, like, he could have been a lot more competitive because he left a lot of songs off of the playlist, and I'm like, why didn't he play them and chose to use 4 or 5 diss songs? I'm like, yo, like, what is he doing?
Apparently he didn't get the memo.
He didn't give a fuck about the memo.
Yeah,
he didn't give one fuck.
He did not get the memo. That, like,
he didn't give one fuck about that memo.
This is a celebration of music. Now we want you motherfuckers to kill each other on camera.
But did you guys feel like a lot of people were saying like Gucci Mane was just basically taking the real ghetto route of the whole idea of the versus Jeezy trying to take the high road? Or did y'all feel like that, or was it just
a lot of people felt like that? But I completely disagree, because how the fuck are you gonna, these people are telling Gucci Mane he was acting ghetto, immature, yada yada yada. Do you understand this man 10 feet away from me put a hit out on me? Like, how do you guys, I don't give a fuck if it was 15 years ago. That shit impacted my life in such a way to where I went to jail.
If he really put a hit out on him, why would Gucci stand 10 feet away from him?
And he wanted to prove he wasn't scared, I guess.
Me personally, I wouldn't have done that. I think it was a bad look on both sides, but it was a worse look on Jeezy. I think Gucci had a way to vent. This was his way of standing in front of this.
How was it a worse look on Jeezy?
But next to this man and tell the world exactly how I feel.
How was it a worse look on Jeezy?
Easy.
I mean, I can't say that it was a worse look, but I do feel like at the end of the day, like, man to man, I feel like he chumped him. Like he did.
Jeezy chumped Gucci, or Gucci chumped Jeezy?
I feel like Gucci Mane chumped Jeezy because he did not come there. He clearly did not come to play his best songs. He only came to disrespect him.
That's it.
He cared nothing about the musical versus battle.
Right.
He came there solely just to talk shit to him and say, you know what? Why I got you on this stage, nigga? Fuck you. I'm going to talk about the situation between you and me the entire time. I don't give a fuck how many songs you play, how many people cheer, how many people come in here and watch. I'm going to fucking disrespect you to your face, and you ain't going to do shit but sit there and switch it up and play songs and whatever. Because at the end of the day, we're talking about two street niggas, because that's the point. That's how they're both are billed. You know what I'm saying? Like their whole career is built off of finish. Street niggas or whatever.
Well, let me piggyback on that, because Gucci's
really though.
Yes, Jeezy was from BMF, and this is a whole nother reason why he's squashing this, but that's a whole nother topic. He doesn't have that protection no more. But Jeezy was a Crip. He also was from Black Mafia family, so Jeezy was a real street dude. When he talks about moving bricks and stuff, that's not an act. Jeezy was a real street dude, and he was one of those dudes.
Let me say something real quick.
That still talks about don't disrespect me and stuff like that. And Gucci was calling this man a bitch, a pussy, all this shit right on stage.
Right there in front of everybody.
That's a bad look.
He said, "Fuck that."
So let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. I disagree with all of that shit. Okay? Because if anybody walked away looking silly, to me, Gucci looked foolish. Gucci looked foolish. And here's why. In my motherfucking opinion, I already know how y'all felt. Y'all sat there for 10 minutes. First of all, this motherfucker threw out the olive branch, right? So right there, he's already telling you that, hey, man, let's go do this. It's an opportunity for you to get on. These motherfuckers come off these things. They sell a bunch of records. So, not get on, but open up a bag. Yes, they get bags off of this shit. They get paid.
Gucci didn't need it, though. He wasn't struggling.
I'm not talking about needing it. I'm not talking about needing it. That's irrelevant. You don't know if he needs it or not, or if he wants it. You don't know what his ambition is. Maybe his ambition is to make more money.
No, he didn't need it.
So anyway, it's an opportunity. He gave him an opportunity to come out and play his fucking music, promote his shit, all of that shit. So if Jeezy wasn't bringing him there to beef and try to disrespect him, obviously, because he was inviting him there, number one. Number two, he already said, yo, bro, I'm not going to beef with you. That shit was a long time ago. You want to sit there and beef? Go ahead. I'm going to play my music and chill. So how, like, I don't see he chumped him. How did he chump him?
You had no choice. What you gonna, you put a hit out. You sent a hit out on this man. What are you going to sit back and say? You have to be the bigger person.
If you put out a hit on somebody,
that shit was 20 years ago.
And you listen. But here's the point. If I put a hit out on you, and you come and stand 10 feet away from me, and you don't do shit, then you just prove that you the punk. As far as I'm concerned, that's where I'm from. If I put a hit on you and I come here and I can make money and I'm gonna sell records and I put out an album and all you do is sit there and talk shit and you don't do shit.
But hold on.
But I'm from, you the punk.
Exactly.
But that ain't all he did. He already told you that he buried one of his homeboys. I mean, goddamn, what else he got to do? He already showed
exactly.
Who you talking about? Gucci?
Gucci, he killed a motherfucker that was sent for him.
And so now what is Jeezy supposed to do?
I don't know what he's supposed to do, but I tell you what,
not to do the verses. That's for sure.
Maybe not do the verses. I don't know, but I think he put himself in a vulnerable position for street people. Not talking about, of course.
I disagree.
Of course, Gucci Man. I mean, of course, Gucci Man lost the verses battle. Everybody online is.
No, everybody doesn't.
Showing well, a lot of people. Other people are saying that he won, but
plenty of people say he got wild.
But it appears that this guy did not come to even try to win. He came for another reason.
He wasn't winning anyway.
He was watched before the shit started as far as the verses go.
He was never winning. He was never winning that battle.
This is why I said this was reckless and stupid, and none of them should have did it. How first of all, y'all making it seem like Jeezy invited this man. No, this was a Swiss and Timberland production. Those motherfuckers need some accountability too, because they should have set these two motherfuckers down weeks prior, at least twice, had a conversation and squashed the shit. For them not to make these two, and I don't want to call them animals, but two lions trying to go after each other on stage for the first time, like not having a sit down, was real dangerous and reckless. Because Gucci clearly came, his point, his whole mission was to get Jeezy out of character and start a fight. That's what his whole mission was, to get the smoke popping. So they shouldn't even put them in that situation to do that. So I had a big problem.
Let me ask you this question. So let me go ahead and phrase the question. Do you guys feel like Versus basically capitalized on their beef?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
And so there's a two-parter. Do you think there should be some sort of consequence or what type of responsibility do you think Swiss and Timbo have on that?
Well, so far nothing has happened, you know,
right.
in the aftermath.
Thank God.
I don't think
Thank
that.
God, cooler heads prevail.
For real, probably Swiss and Tim are just really lucky. You know what I'm saying?
That's the word.
Lucky.
They're fortunate. They're
very fortunate that nothing happened.
If something would have happened and it would have got ugly,
that was a big gamble.
Afterward, somebody would have got shot or something. There would have been a lot of scrutiny on them, because to hear that, and in hindsight, in hindsight, after seeing Jeezy's interviews and the way he broke it down, and when he explained that there was no pregame, there was no nothing. So these dudes have that bloody history all this time. They got bad blood, and there's no pregame. There's no
Wow.
you know. Even before a fight, the ref bring them in the middle of the ring and look at each other in the eye and be like, "All right, homies, we gonna keep this clean." There was none of that. It was like that to me is the craziest shit. So yeah, that is crazy to hear that, dog. When these guys have the tools in the ring, fuck, we can Skype that shit. You can Zoom that shit.
I got a question
Jesus.
I have a question about this. I have a question about this, and you guys may know. But is there an approved playlist before the versus takes place, or is it all about surprise?
No, it's not. It's not.
No.
It's all about surprise. Shit.
Yeah,
no.
it's all about surprise.
Obviously, you think they would have approved all the
wait, before you guys change the subject, let me piggyback on something. I don't know if you guys seen the video of after the verses of when they ever went to the after party or something, the way Gucci was moving. I don't know if y'all seen the video, but he had about four. He had about 4 vehicles with him, and each vehicle had armed guards on each side. And I'm not talking about armed with little shit. I'm talking about military grade weapons.
I saw the weapon.
So he came prepared for a fucking war.
And
So
he did say at some point in the verses, I can't remember when. Honestly, I can say it was like second quarter of the football game, but he did say that they knew that he was gonna play that song. So it did make me wonder if they may not have an approved playlist, but they may submit certain songs to say, hey, I may play these songs. So he did verbally say that they knew he was gonna play one of those diss songs.
Yeah, but in the interviews he said he didn't know that, but he said he knew that it was a possibility. So nothing was off the table, basically. But one thing I want to say, knock on wood, nothing has happened yet from that versus. But I think that versus, even though people are praising it as some type of peaceful connection, I think it just putting that on show could have had bad complications. Because guess who was in the comments? Quando Rondo posted, all right, Free Lil Tim, which was King Von's killer. So he used that platform to get that off. Then the very next day, dropped a diss song against King Von. So I don't know if that expired the event. So I don't like the energy it gave off to the youngins. I think it made them think that, oh, we can get this money and put this beef shit on a show and keep this shit in the media and shit and get a bag from it. I just didn't. I thought it was reckless and irresponsible. So
God forbid something does happen. Do you think that Tim and Swiss have to bear some of that responsibility, or do you think that Jeezy and Gucci are grown men and they have to take responsibility?
Well,
depends. It depends on what the beef is.
I'll say this: I'm interested to see who they continue to use for the Versus platform. Like, so now that they saw that when we put 2 people up here that are beefing, it went up to fucking 2.5 or whatever. Like, hey, we need to find more controversy for this shit. Like,
right.
You know, man, like I just want to see how far they go before they consider selling out. If you understand, because
I understand what you're saying.
Get ugly.
I'm cool with it. If it's like wrestling, where they're playing up on the beef, but behind the scenes they're like, "Yo, we're gonna front. Let's go get this bag."
Yeah,
I'm cool with that.
That's different, right?
Yeah.
Because that's entertainment.
I'm okay with that too. I get that.
Some Nas and Jay-Z type shit.
Right.
This is what pisses me off about the hip hop culture. Only in our culture do we like we can't have it both ways. And this is a perfect example of how we are fucking hypocrites in our own culture. In one hand, this black on black crime needs to stop. We need to stop with this hip hop and the killing and the guns. And then Jeezy a chump because he didn't jump across the stage and punch Buddy in the face because he was talking shit. Like, we can't have it both ways.
I understand that, but like you know, let's say if somebody from a cartel becomes a rapper, he's still a cartel member at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So regardless of what he raps about,
regardless
of what he is, So what I'm saying is, like, his success to where he got to today was largely based off of the support of those type of people. So like when you're on this type of platform, like, I'm pretty sure there were a lot of people who wish Jeezy would have kind of got as good as Gucci did. That's all.
And look, and to piggyback off that, and people in particular, I'm pretty sure that wanted to see that was that man's family. Imagine that man's family having to sit there and watch him celebrate, do this video show with Jeezy or Gucci, the man that killed his family. Like, you don't think they would look at that a certain way?
But that dude went to go kill him. So I mean, it's not like that kid was an innocent bystander walking across the street minding his. He went to shoot somebody.
That made it worse because he did it because of that motherfucker.
Right, but that's the issue with the energy that they're portraying, because, like they said, that's the life that they live. So yeah, maybe they might elevate themselves outside of it, but the people around them likely don't. They typically don't.
And hold on.
And that's why you leave and you don't live around people like that. That's why everybody leaves the fucking hood. Or else you get shitted on.
Just to make sure we're clear, I wasn't referencing that the family would be mad at Gucci Man, because they understand the probably
right.
You know,
right.
He went and did some shit and dude defended himself and he got killed. But why did he go over there in the first place?
Right, they be mad at Jeezy. Right.
Fucking with Jeezy, he got himself killed. So yeah, they probably hate that motherfucker.
You already know. Grandmama says, or mama said, like, you was hanging around with so-and-so all the time.
Of course.
They sitting there looking at the TV.
Whether he would have done that
versus
verses or not, they were hating him.
Yeah, but he might not be dead, though. I'm pretty sure his family was looking at the TV.
It's just 10 times more disrespectful.
Getting paid off.
What I'm saying is, that kid's family is going to hate Jeezy no matter what, whether he would have done the verses or not.
But it's a different. It's a difference.
Open up that womb.
They're not.
Open
that womb up.
So we say all of those
maybe
things,
he didn't expect dude to do all that, right? Remember, he didn't expect that. He didn't expect that.
He did.
He said he didn't. He said he didn't. So no.
He lied.
No.
I don't think he thought he was coming in there with those songs. And,
exactly. He didn't think he was coming in there to put fire.
He probably
put gas on that shit.
Right. He probably figured he may do a song. You know, he might even do a half of a song, 1.5. But he didn't think he was coming in and fucking go 4 or 5 songs deep. Like he didn't think. He probably thought
he may throw a jab at me. But he's not going to sit here in front of the world and say, go dig your man up.
I ain't gonna lie, man.
You know what I'm saying?
I know D was trying to ask us a question, but I want to disagree with that, because the only reason why it was so many viewers, because 1.8 was just on Instagram alone. Somebody posted something like it was over like 7 million views or impressions or something. The world wanted to see that explosion. The reason why the world was watching, they wanted to see Gucci and Jeezy smoke. They wanted to see them fight and attack each other. So everybody was expecting it, but Jeezy? Nah, I don't believe that.
Yeah, no, and that's what made me ask the question, because if you think about it, that's how the Monica and Brandy verses got so many also, because everyone knew that there was this perceived beef between the two of them, and so that wasn't a secret. So that blew up. I mean, I have a hard time. I love both Brandy and Monica, but I have a hard time believing that 1.5 million people tuned in to watch them, you know, hug and kiss and stuff like that. They tuned in because everyone knew they had beef, and they wanted to see how that
I agree with that. That's
and
fact.
so now they took it to the next level, and so at some point there is a limit. That's the concerning part.
Look, you see the drug in that. You see the drug in that, because now look at that. The people who are running versus, they saw the success with the Monica brand, and they said, "Oh, this little spat here got us up to 1.2 million.
Right.
Who can we find next that will fucking, you know what I'm saying, that would get these numbers up?"
And they're gonna spin it, and they're gonna say, "Oh, you see what happened at the end? How peaceful." They're fucking lucky that shit is that way.
Very lucky.
I just hope they don't fucking use these Chicago rappers
Exactly.
If I could put them against each other in the verses, that shit's gonna be ridiculous.
They can't do that.
That
would be super reckless.
That we said, and at the end of it, they pieced it up, right? Do you think it was genuine?
It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell.
Who knows? I can't tell.
I didn't see that part of it, but
I saw it.
You know, I don't know. Did they slap 5?
No,
they didn't slap.
But they were far away. They weren't.
If they weren't
in a position.
If they didn't slap 5.
Well, not on camera. Not on camera.
All right.
I don't know what happened after.
Usually for me with men, because it's something about the connection of the hands or whatever. Like they
remember, it's Corona.
Fuck that. You know, and
but
this is the type of situation where you might get killed tonight. Fuck Corona. You understand? So
even in Jeezy. Well, even in Jeezy interviews, he was saying, like, when they was asking him, how do you feel about it? He was like, it's too fresh. I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah.
So the fact that they didn't have a sit down prior, this is like that was their sit down in front of the world, basically. So I don't think none of them really know how to process this.
The thing that concerns me is just a week ago, we were talking about like the violence in hip hop and things like that. And I just feel like it's too new to even assume that nothing's going to happen. I hope nothing happens, because I would hate for that to happen to them and the people that they're associated with. True. But it just seems like it's happening so much. The violence in hip hop is just happening so much. I mean, Benny the Butcher and Boosie just got shot in Texas. So it's like, it's easy to say, well, yeah, they dapped it up and they're cool, but you can never know what's going to happen around them with their friends and their family and things like that. Do y'all think it's just getting worse, or you just think that it's not really a big deal, just par for the course?
I think listen, I think when you really break this shit down, right? And I'm talking to like the viewers, right? It's your fault. It's your fault, viewers. It's our fault.
Talk to them.
And I'm gonna tell you why. Because in no other fucking music genre do this shit happen. In no other fucking music genre do 1 week people kill each other and we're like, oh, this shit gotta stop. And then we run like fucking birds when they throw bread when there's a fight. And we got our you know what happened on this versus? There was a fight. Let me tell you what happened. Let me tell you what just happened. There was a fight and everybody puts up their cell phone to watch and record. Yeah. It's all it was. It is us. It is a reflection of who we are as a culture, black and brown. It's our fault. And at a certain point, there has to be some fucking accountability, because at the end of the day, there's 1.8 because motherfuckers wanted to see a fight, right? He was talking shit, or he's a chump because he ain't do shit, right? Like that. As long as that happens, that shit ain't never gonna change. Because the truth of the matter is this: you in your 40s, man. When is it okay to grow up? When is it okay to change? So if dude was gangster in his 20s, now his 40s, I gotta hold up to that shit. Maybe I don't. Maybe I've changed. Maybe I don't want to be that shit no more. Yeah. What I'm saying is, no other human should be able to put that on a human and tell me who I am in my 40s. You can't tell me who I am just because you saw me do this and that. Maybe people evolve, people change. But it's just not. It's just incredibly unfair at a certain point.
Do you think? Okay, so these guys getting shot, right? Is that really about hip hop, or is that really about the life that they live? So are they getting shot? Are they getting shot because I'm watching the verses, or is the verses happening because they get shot?
It's both. I think it's
both. It's both. Look at Benny the Butcher. Look at Benny the Butcher, right? Look at Benny the Butcher, right? He's out of town. He's in Houston. They in Rolls Royces, right? And they all got heavy bling. So it's part lifestyle, right? It's part lifestyle, and it's part culture. It's 50-50. You going in you're not from that area. You balling in Rolls Royces. You're basically living that life of opulence where you're like, I got your house on my neck. Motherfuckers is out there starving. You know, like it's both. It is both.
Hip hop
You
puts
don't
a spotlight
have
on
to.
you.
You don't have to be in a town you're not from. You know, like, listen, back in my day, this is how I'm gonna look at it. If I'm going to another hood and I know there's thirsty motherfuckers out there and I got my jewels on, I better be around some real motherfuckers from that area, or I better be heavily strapped, because dudes don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Well, that's why you check. That's why you check in. That's why you check in. But if you're a hip hop artist, you get
Or you
spotlighted.
got your own people. Or you got
Well,
your own people.
he had his people with him, but that didn't help because they had more. But
or
in
or
hip hop, you
sometimes
get
it's just bad
spotlighted,
luck too.
and
It's
and
just
you
bad luck.
and honestly, Benny and Booty portray to be street niggas. So that's another thing. So just I think it's getting worse because nowadays these
I
young
wouldn't say
motherfuckers don't
portray.
give
I
a.
think them some street
No,
niggas.
I'm just saying they are street niggas.
But here's the thing though. You gotta always remember this. When you claim to be a street dude, right? Then you subscribe yourself to being checked by other street niggas.
Exactly.
You understand it? Like once you claim something, like with Jeezy, like it's easy to say, you know, well, I'm 40, something I want to turn it off. But nigga, once you in a gang, once you live that lifestyle, you always a part of that. You know
especially if you rep it in the media.
It ain't nothing you could turn off or turn on because you, oh shit, some of the most notorious gangsters ever in the United States have been motherfuckers in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. You know
That's
what I'm saying? So you don't get to turn it off. That's why we have to do a great job when the kids are young to try to deter them from this lifestyle, because it is a lifestyle that actually follows you for life. It
That's
will
fact.
follow you for life. You can't just be like, oh, you know what? I'm 40 today. I want to be a grown-up now. Niggas like, nah, nigga, I'm still going to check you.
Yeah. It's still skeletons in your closet.
You think because you shot somebody 7 years ago or 15 years ago that you just get to check it off now that you're 45. Well, what if his brother been in jail for the last 20 years? When he get out, he at your ass. You understand?
Right.
So it ain't no turning it off and on. Once
They're
you
actually not as young as we think they are.
well,
Boosie is
Jesus
almost
43,
40.
he's the
No,
same
they
age as
they
I am.
old.
Dudes
Yeah.
in their 40s.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
and
old. Yeah, they up
Boosie's
there.
almost 40. He's like
Yeah.
38
Yeah,
or
Benny's in his
something.
30s and Boosie in his
You
40s.
guys- but
Here's
look,
my thing.
I definitely agree with Vic on the Benny thing. You can't be in nobody's hood doing that shit.
He went to Walmart. See, this is the thing that
Walmart, get the fuck out of here.
This is the thing that I find extremely uncomfortable, because on one hand we'll say, oh, this is you know, they got to grow up, this is, you know, that culture is this, but at the end of the day, the young man went to Walmart. No person, in my opinion, I don't care what life you live, at some point you got to go to the store and buy toilet paper, you got to go to the store and buy whatever the fuck you got to buy at Walmart. I don't think a reasonable person expects that you can walk into Walmart to buy some soap to wash your ass and you're going to have goons coming down on you. And it's also my opinion that you shouldn't have to expect that. I mean, I feel like that sounds crazy to say. I'm being honest. I feel like that sounds crazy to say.
No, I agree.
There has to be in our society.
I disagree.
There has to be
you don't live your life like that though.
There has to, I understand that, but there has to be a certain level of respect to say that I don't care what life you live, but there are people at Walmart who don't live that life. So there has to be, it wasn't always like that though. There has always been some sort of code, at least, that you don't just go up in a Walmart and just start shooting where there are what many people would consider women and children. That type of mentality, it existed.
Did he get shot inside?
I'm glad you said that. Let me I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that, because nowadays I agree with you for the most part, but I do disagree for the fact that I don't think he should have been wearing that much jewelry. You kind of bring you kind of but nowadays the old trend in hip hop was to be a hustler. People rapped about being hustlers and stuff. The new trend in the streets and in hip hop is now to be a hitter. That's the stripes. That's the respect now. People want to catch you slipping, People is getting credits for robbing. They want to be known as killers, robbers. They gonna test you.
But if you catch a him slipping, that means that what you're
that
teaching,
shit alone right
what
there.
you're
That's
saying,
been going on for years in hip
but
hop.
what's
Just to get a
fucked up
rep.
about that? Yeah, but it's fucked up because what you're telling me is that now I, as a regular civilian, can't even go to Walmart because not y'all literally, but because people in hip hop culture think that it's okay and think that that's normal behavior. It's not normal behavior for me as a civilian to go to Walmart. All right, I do have one more question because we
so passionate.
This time it goes by so fast, but I do have one more.
You guys are always arguing and shit.
That's because we love each other so much. We're a big happy family.
Listen, I do have one question though. When Boosie, if it's genuine, let's just say it's genuine, right? That they ended it, they dapped it up, they're cool, and Chris was talking about apologizing to LeVar Ball and all that stuff. Do y'all think that, like, when you forgive somebody, do you think it's a weakness or a strength?
Weakness. And just going by, because you know what? When I thought about when I think about forgiveness, I think about, and I hate to take it to our people, but we always so fucking forgiving all the time, and I think that hurts us in more ways than it helps us. I'm perfectly okay with forgiveness. I just think there's a lot of things you shouldn't be forgiven for. And I think things that happen, like murder, that happened in that instance, I don't think you should be forgiven for that. I just don't. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
my opinion.
That's
I don't think it's a weakness. I think it's situational. I think
perfect
every situation you don't know. It's also based on intent. What's your intent? If you forgive, but deep down inside you don't mean it, then of course that shit is lame. So it's just very vast. It depends on a lot of different things. I wouldn't put a broad stroke and say that shit's a weakness on anything, because everybody's different. Everyone has different beliefs. Everybody, not everybody's from the hood. Not if where we're from, our culture is unforgiving, man. It is not a forgiving culture. If you 48 and you was a gangster in your 20s and you don't want to be a gangster anymore, fuck you. We're not forgiving your past. Think about it. Our culture is not very forgiving. So of course, in our culture, it's true. It's a weakness. You know what I'm saying? Like mostly in our culture does Jeezy get called a chump for what happened. In any other culture, what? He's a fucking humility. He's the hero. This guy tried to bait him into a fight and blah, 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 blah. So we're not a forgiving culture. I think it's situational, man. It depends.
And for me, I actually think that to forgive is a strength, because I think that forgiveness comes from within, right? I think it's like, for me, it's like, because I forgive somebody, it does not mean that I have to verbally express that to them. That's forgiveness is more like coming to peace with yourself over an issue, not apologizing for someone or whatever the case is. If somebody does something to you, right, and it's a terrible thing, they do something to you, you're internally angry over this thing for a very long period of time. The point that you stop being mad at them for this thing is the point in which you actually forgive them. You've decided to move on from this issue. I think it takes a very strong person to be able to do that, right? Because that's what's rare. Most people can't truly forgive. Most people can't truly forgive. You understand that? Like, most people like to say it. You know what I mean? But to truly forgive, that's a whole different fucking ballpark. I mean, like, true forgiveness, like come to peace with yourself. Not saying, you know what, buddy, I forgive you. That's really nothing but to be at peace with yourself with whatever this person did to you and decide to move on from that and figure out a way to become a better person because of that. That's just pure strength.
Somebody get that man an organ. Somebody get that man an organ. He's taking him to church. He preaching.
No, listen.
Go Reverend Boosie.
It's called fucking wisdom. Wisdom over time, man. Wisdom over time. Like, you could move on from certain situations, and it doesn't mean that you're going to go and shake hands and be best friends. Yes. But for our own like personal growth and development, it's better. It's a fucking proven fact, first of all, that forgiveness and forgetting about shit and moving on is actually far better for you. Holding on to hate and anger is never better for you. That shit only lives.
Situational.
That lives in the emotion and in the ego, right? Because if you think about it. Hold on. Strip this shit down to the human level, right? All that shit about, so for instance, the family of the person, right? I forgot their name, but the cop killed the family and the family turned around and they were forgiving, right?
Bullshit.
Remember that shit?
That bullshit.
But hear me out. I personally probably would never do that. That's not in me, right? That's not in me to do that. But that person, in order for them to live their fucking life without their child, maybe that's what they had to do in order to fucking function. You're not in someone else's shoes. We all process pain and hurt differently. So my whole point is to decide for someone else, to tell them how they should process pain. It's fucking silly. It's not even real. Everybody's different. But holding on to hate, being angry and I'm angry. Like, that shit is lame. That shit has no purpose. It doesn't suit you. It doesn't help you. It doesn't in any fucking way, shape, or form. Like, in my opinion.
Hold on. Because I think I don't want to seem like I'm the asshole here. D, you agree with me, right? Do you agree with me?
Listen, I can admit that I haven't reached that level of maturity. But I can also admit that my fallback game is strong. Like I can cut, and I'm known to do this. I can cut someone out of my life and be done with them literally forever. And I'm okay with it. I don't ever feel bad about it. Now, whether I walk around with that resentment, that's another story. Sometimes I can't let it go and it's there. So I haven't reached the level of maturity where I could just be like, oh, it's okay. I haven't gotten there yet. Once I give somebody a kiss, I'm done.
I'm not saying I was there. I'm just saying that's what it is.
Get there. I'm not that mature.
Yeah, well, let me be clear, because I don't want to. Like, I have friends of mine that will see this and they'll be like, "This motherfucker." Let me be clear. Let me be clear. This is something that I have always struggled with. And I'm passionate about it because it fucking held me back. Being angry, it fucking held me back. And only when I fucking let that shit go did I start thriving and start doing better in other ways as a fucking human being. I was an angry fucking son of a bitch into my 30s, man. It held me back. I was mad at family. I'm mad at a bunch of shit, man. I was at war with my goddamn self. Shit, my whole situation.
Goddamn angry Puerto Rican, huh?
Oh, yeah. But that shit didn't fucking serve me, man. It blinded me.
No, you're right. You're right.
When I let that shit go,
you're right.
Man, I walked around so much lighter. Shit that used to bother me before, I'm like, I kept it moving. And it don't mean I'm not the same asshole I ever was, because I have that unique trait. You saw that movie Heat when Robert De Niro said, don't get attached to anything that you can't walk away from in 30 seconds or less. That's motherfucking me.
It's not a good thing, though. It's not always a good thing. I find that it's usually a bad thing. Yeah.
It's not. But my circle is fucking tiny. And outside of my lady and my kids, I'm not tied to fucking anything. And I've always lived that way. But the point is that
it hurt me. I'm tied to the pod.
I'm tied to this motherfucker.
Tied to the game.
On my own experience, where like it did me damage, man. Like being that angry, holding grudges, stunt a lot of my growth. I was blocking blessings that were there for me, and I didn't even know it because I was just walking around so fucking angry. And when I let that shit go, I started seeing different lanes starting to open up. Bro, no one, listen, man, no one wants to be around shitty, angry energy. Like, that's just
I just about to get the strappers.
I'll tell you motherfucker stuff. Let me tell you
I was just going to say, Chris, while we were on the subject of forgiveness, I was just going to say that I want to clear this up for anybody listening. accepting someone's apology is not forgiveness. You know,
That's a good point.
so like when you see these families on TV when something bad happens, all they're doing, accepting someone's apology when they do something like that, fuck that. I'm not accepting your apology. You know, because you did that shit on purpose. That's different. That doesn't mean I can't forgive, you know, the situation or whatever, because like, you know, kind of what Vic was saying, is all about being at peace with yourself, because that fucking stress will kill you. It will give you a heart attack. It will cause your fucking blood pressure to fucking rise. It could give you headaches. It could have physical effects on your life. You know, so finding a way to come to peace.
Positive.
You know what I'm saying? With some things that happen like that inside of a person's life is very powerful. You know, because it's so rare to accomplish.
Let me clear something up too, because I don't want to make it seem like I'm just over here that's anti-forgiveness and shit.
You are an asshole, Chris. You're an asshole.
I'm a Gemini. Look, I just like to say I'm a Gemini. So half of me is with that forgiveness shit. The other half is, look, that motherfucking dog bit you a little too hard. That motherfucker can't be trusted. But I know we got to wrap things up. So I want to, since we're on forgiveness, I want to ask Eric a question. Since you all Mr. Forgiveness, nigga, can you forgive that ass whooping the Raiders put on that KC last time?
Listen, man. Yeah. Well, you know what?
That was a pivot.
I don't have much to say.
Damn.
The game is quickly approaching us. Raiders fans, by the time you hear this, we would have whooped y'all ass in a revenge game. There is no fucking forgiveness for that motherfucking victory lap y'all took around Arrowhead. So
I love angry football talk. I love that shit. Fuck that friendly shit. Ain't no forgiveness in football. No forgiveness in football.
Who do the Jets play tomorrow?
Chargers.
Okay, so the
we play at 4:00.
You know, what's funny?
Tell you that.
I'm good.
The Chargers are a 9.5 point favorite. I can't believe it.
Hey, I'm starting Perriman in my fan dude.
I'm going to tell you why. Because it's the East Coast team flying to the West Coast, and it's the Jets.
Now is the time to bet on the Jets. I told you one of these games going to hit. Now's the time. 9.5.
You think that's against the Chargers? So you picking the Jets?
No, what I'm saying is, I'm not saying that.
You said all
take the Jets in the point. Take the Jets in the point.
Take the Jets in the points. That's what I'm saying.
Steal. That's a
9.5 is a lot. That's a lot.
9.5 is crazy. I can only imagine what the money line will pay on like a $25 bet.
Hey, here's facts. Here's facts. The Chargers have lost all their 7 games lost were one score losses. That's why their coach is getting fired. So what does that tell you? That means that they're not covering now. This is fucking steal.
Yeah, I'm gonna put on the Jets.
Well, look, I'm not gonna talk about my team.
Why should be ass whipping?
Let me just make one comment. Let me just make one comment about the Eagles versus Browns. I guarantee if Miles Sanders have at least 22 touches, we win that game. I guarantee it. 22 touches, that's all he needs. We win. Guarantee it. That's all I got to say.
I got Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb both going over 100 yards again.
And it may
be the first time in NFL history.
If it's a poor weather game, that plays into motherfucking
it's raining.
Browns' favor.
It's going to be raining, I think.
Oh, yeah, they're going to be.
First time in NFL history, 2 running backs will have 100 yards apiece in back-to-back games.
I don't give a fuck about none of that. Eagles, we gonna win.
Oh! Hey, just get ready to see a lot of kickoffs to the Eagles tomorrow.
And I know Dion trying to kick it. Bad luck to your team too, Dion. I'm not gonna let you escape without saying that. Very bad luck to y'all too.
Because fucking Cook gonna do exactly what his last name suggests.
Got him in my fantasy also. Start him in your fantasy.
You motherfuckers. I'm going with Devin Cook with 3 rushing touchdowns and 1 receiving touchdown tomorrow. 4 scores.
4 touchdowns?
For Cook.
That's disrespectful.
From Cook? That's really disrespectful.
That's disrespectful. I ain't even say no shit like that.
Hey, like he's done that shit like 2-3 times already. Like,
I mean, he only got like 13, 14 touchdowns.
Damn.
Boy, that kid's a deal. Hey, you motherfuckers out there, have a great weekend and be safe. Have a happy holiday.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Don't burn your fucking house down trying to be cute.
Trying to fry a turkey in the garage.
No pork on your fork. All right?
Get the fuck out of here. I mean, bacon with all my Thanksgiving food. Bacon. Fuck out of here with that swine talk.
If you're frying a turkey, YouTube some fucking instructions on how not to burn your crib down, and don't do it on no grass, dumbass.
Can we do
inside your house?
Vic's deep fried turkey secrets before we get out of here? Vic, you got any deep fried turkey secrets?
I ain't got no deep fried turkey secrets because I'm no fucking guru at all. But I do got one jewel. If you're gonna fry it in the fucking fryer outside your house, mock it beforehand and do it with water. Put the water in the fucking fryer and drop the turkey in and see the levels and then mark it so you know how much oil. One of the biggest mistakes people make.
Turkey fryer don't have a mark on the side of it telling you where to put the oil.
Many of them. Many of them.
In 2020?
Goddamn peasants.
Inside, yes, because it's inside. So people will drop
turkey fryer is about
and the oil
7
come
or 8
out.
years old, and it has a mark on it, and it's at least 7 years old. At least. So whose turkey fryer don't have the mark on it from the?
Many.
What's your
favorite? You know how many fucking people? Most fires come from the oil overflowing.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Thanksgiving dish? What's your favorite Thanksgiving dish?
I don't have it. We don't cook traditional Thanksgiving.
I'm not a big Thanksgiving fan.
Yeah, I cook Puerto Rican food.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm gonna tell you.
This, baby.
I'm gonna tell you what I'm doing. I'm fucking getting a whole chicken, and I'm gonna give that shit a nice light olive oil bath. Then I'm gonna make a fucking special rub that consists of some thyme, some parsley, and Old fucking Bay seasoning with some black and red pepper. And I'm gonna mix that shit up, and I'm gonna give that shit a nice rub. Then I'm gonna juice it 6 or 7 times, and I'm gonna have crushed garlic and olive oil, and I will strategically in those holes where I shank it, I will strategically stuff a little garlic scallions, chopped garlic scallions in those holes, and push them in there deep so they can get in there. And I'm gonna put that whole chicken in the oven, and that shit's gonna be.
Does this sound like? Am I the only one that thinks this fucking
it sounds pornographic?
She sounds pornographic.
Hey, he's gonna be like the motherfucker with the little head that's stuck to turkey.
I'm waiting for him to
stick my finger in that shit.
I'm waiting for him to bring up the Viagra cocktails or something. I mean,
he said, I'm gonna smack the turkey. I'm licking 2 times.
He said, I'm gonna put it down there nice
and then I'm gonna stuff it.
Yeah, he had to take it too far. I knew
it. It's time to go. It's time to go.
Get the fuck out of here. Happy Thanksgiving. And look, we thankful for y'all. We thankful for each other, and we thankful for y'all.
Hey, make sure y'all hit the like button, subscribe, share, comment. We love to comment back. Until next time, we'll holler at y'all. Next week, happy Thanksgiving.
And don't get it. And fuck the pilgrims. We know what it is for real.
All out.
Facts.
Yo,
good show.